David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Over the last few days, we've heard from the leader of the Labor Party that he intends to actually manage interest rates by setting interest rates in New Zealand. Today, he did not resign from that position. He came into this House and defended it in the general debate. Even if he knew he was wrong yesterday, he had his chance to move away from it today, but he didn't, because the Labor Party genuinely believes that they can charge and determine what interest rates would be in New Zealand. That is economic lunacy. That is the Labor Party gone wild. It is a party that has no understanding of economics, it has no understanding of how interest rates are set, and it is a party that looks for pure political hits and has no compassion and understanding of what they're talking about. Let's look at other countries that do such things. If you look at the instruments where there's no independence in this area, Bahamas, Barbados, Jamaica and Turkmenistan are the countries that the Labor Party would want to be in with. That is the kind of economic plan that the Labor Party intends to follow. And it is not only the Labor Party in interest rates. We know the New Zealand First Party wants to control exchange rates as well. Align that with the Labor Party and their interest rate controls, and we go back to a situation that was many decades ago and has been seen to fail in the economic history of this country and any other country. And the opposition will say that there is a dairy bubble that has suddenly arisen on this government. That is simply not true. If anyone looks back, they will find that the greatest percentage in increase in dairy farm debt occurred under the Labor government. That's when the conversions happened in the South Island. That's when the greatest increase in dairy debt came, was under Labor, not under National. So do not blame the government for the individual choices that farmers have made and are dealing with at this stage. But what we do need is a government that delivers a strong economic base, a government that delivers an economy that is open, free and can deliver low interest rates and a strong base for our financial sector to be secure so that people can actually get money lent to them. We do not need a government that goes out and makes rash promises around education policy that would add billions of dollars onto the government expenditure, therefore increasing government debt and therefore increasing interest rates that farmers would have to deal with. We do not need a government that would not support farmers in the areas of policy that we can help them, such as trade, such as RMA, such as water, such as immigration and things like that, that they actually need. Farmers listening to this need to think what the Labor Party would deliver. The Labor Party would deliver an economy where they control interest rates. How are they going to set those interest rates? What is going to be the appropriate interest rate? How are they going to make sure banks actually do those interest rates? What would they do as their sanctions if banks didn't follow those interest rates? What would be the consequences for farmers if they had secured long-term debt under other interest rates? All those questions can never be answered by the Labor Party because they do not understand fundamental economics and how interest rates are set and how the money markets work. The second thing the Labor Party would do, other than setting your interest rates, is they would be trying to set your exchange rate in conjunction with the New Zealand First Party. How would they set the exchange rate? Where would they set it? And how are they going to make sure that that happens? They cannot answer those questions, even though that's their policy effectively. The next thing the Labor Party would do would be delivering a very poor economic situation for New Zealanders where banks would not want to invest in this country. The biggest dilemma for New Zealand dairy farmers would actually be the supply of capital coming into this country. Those banks would not supply capital to the New Zealand market because they would fear what a Labor Party government would do to the rules and regulations around the use of money in this country, and that would dictate that there would be less capital there, and that would be a big hindrance on New Zealand farmers and all New Zealand businesses. Mr Speaker, we know what the Labor Party would do to farmers. They would destroy farming in New Zealand. They would create an economic environment which would be against farmers, and it would have dire consequences on an industry that is battling with international prices. Do not listen to their rhetoric. Do not listen to those far-out promises of setting interest rates that are not realistic. Mr Speaker, look at the equation. You've got the equation of the Bernie Sanders Labor Party. You add that with the Trump New Zealand First Party and you come up with a reasonable Green Party in the end. And that's what the opposition looks like to New Zealand farmers. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Mr Speaker.